channel. Today I am diving into the new KVD Good Apple Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer. So I've had this concealer in my collection for a while. I've worn it so many times. I know exactly how I feel about it, and I definitely wanted to do a full review and share my experience with you guys. So let's just dive right into it. This retails for $28. It comes in 32 different shades. It is a extreme long wear crease resistant concealer with the same hydrating, lightweight, full coverage as the KVD's Beauty Iconic Good Apple Foundation. It is claiming, again, to be full coverage, natural finish, and it does have raspberry stem cells, which provides deep moisturizing benefits for all-day comfort and hydration. And it also has the apple extract in rich antioxidants to help nourish the delicate eye area. I've worn this so many times. I know exactly how I feel about it. I was really excited about this concealer because personally, I really like the Good Apple Foundation. Now, I said it multiple times in my review. It all depends on how you apply it. If you apply too much of this, it looks terrible. It is not forgiving if you get heavy-handed. In fact, I will normally dip into this about twice, and I will spread as far as I can go before I even think about adding more. Because if I apply it the right way and I blend it out very evenly and push it into the skin with a sponge, but I've done the lightest amount because it is such full coverage, it lasts all day and looks so beautiful on my skin. But if I get heavy-handed, it's like it'll go from being one of the prettiest foundations to one of the worst foundations very, very fast. It's not forgiving if you get heavy-handed with it. I was excited to see this new concealer from KVD and very curious. So we're gonna dive right into it. I am gonna give it to you straight. You guys know I like to give it to you honest. Before we jump into the application, up here on the screen is an image of my age, my skin concerns, what I like and what I dislike in concealers. I feel like it's very important for the audience to know what the person behind the camera likes and dislikes when they're reviewing makeup, especially complexion products. We all have a different skin type. We all have different skin concerns. We all have different needs from our foundation and our concealer and that. So I feel like this information is very important for the audience to know. I will also list this information in the description box down below, along with popular concealers and what shades I wear in those popular concealers, so you guys can get an idea of my complexion and kind of use it as a guide to the shade that I bought in this concealer, which, by the way, I am wearing medium 152, which medium 152 is for medium to tan skin with a neutral yellow undertone, and it actually matches me to a perfection. I will swatch this shade next to other concealers, so you guys can look forward to that in the swatches and comparisons section of the video. But for now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the application. I'm going to apply it on the under eye, and then I will do a midday daylight check-in. So I will take you guys outside, zoom you in real close so you guys can see how the concealer looks on the under eye out in natural daylight, which I feel like is so important. These beauty lights do make things look better. So I feel like it's very important for you guys to see it in natural daylight. And then I will do a 12-hour check-in, and I will bring you guys in really, really close, really zoom you in so you can see how it's looking on the skin and see how it wears throughout the day. And then in my 12-hour check-in, I will get into my final thoughts. Let's go ahead and jump into the application, and I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the application of this new concealer. Right now, I'm looking a little funky on camera, but the reason for that is I'm actually reviewing another eyeshadow palette, and typically what I like to do to kind of have everything underneath clean is I like to do the eyeshadow on the upper lash line, kind of clean it up, and then put some concealer on, and then do the lower lash line. So that is the reason why I'm coming on camera looking a little bit funky. I'm also reviewing another foundation today, so I figured I might as well review this new concealer while I'm doing check-ins and wear tests and all of that on the foundation. So I actually bought this in two shades. The one shade that I bought is absolutely perfect. So this is the shade medium 152. So this is not the first time I've worn this concealer. I've worn it several times. The other shade that I have is tan 161. And tan is a little too dark. It is. It's a little dark. So that's tan 161, and that is medium 152. But I have a feeling that this tan 161 will match me during the summer. The one thing that I really like about this concealer is I love the doe foot applicator. The doe foot is fabulous. Is a doe foot. It's like the best foot ever. And you get quite a bit on the applicator. I like to wipe off the concealer on the applicator. That's kind of what I do with all of my concealers, just to make sure I don't use too much. And then I like to use what's on the sponge to kind of blend it out. So I'm not applying a lot, even though it looks like I might be. So what I've been doing is just going along here, bringing it along here. And I like to bring my concealer right along this way. So it looks like I'm applying a lot, you guys, but I'm really not, because I've wiped off the applicator and I'm just using what's on the sponge. So then I like to take a brush and just blend that out. And I would say I've worn this concealer maybe 10 times, maybe more. I've worn it quite a bit. I've been really testing it. I've wore it with little makeup. I've wore it with a full face of makeup. Oh, I actually wore it the other day when I went to a funeral and I was crying. I was impressed with the way it held up through the tears. It was quite impressive. It didn't look gross, which I was happy about. This is a very smooth concealer. It's smooth yet hydrating at the same time. I will go over it with a sponge and kind of push it into the skin. Now I'm going to go on this side, do the exact same thing. Kind of clean up this line over here. And the reason why I do the wiping off the applicator and all that is because I like to bring my concealer down here in this area. That is the only reason why I do it. If I didn't bring my concealer down in that area, then I would do like everybody else, put on a couple of dots and spread it out. But I like to bring it down, and wiping off the applicator just ensures that I don't apply too much on these aging under eyes, you know? And I don't think any way is right or wrong. It's just what works for you, right? Some people forget that, though. You get criticized for dumb things. So I'm just gonna kind of zoom in and you guys can see how it's looking. So right now it is 10:46 in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, go about my day. I will be doing a midday daylight check-in, so I will take you guys outside, zoom you guys up real close, let you guys see it in natural daylight, and then I will be doing a 12-hour wear test. So I will wear this for 12 hours, come back later this evening, zoom you guys in so you can see real close, and then in my 12-hour check-in, I will get into my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so I'm doing a check-in for a foundation, so I wanted to do a quick check-in for this concealer. I'm sitting outside, it's cold, so if the camera's shaking, I'm sorry, and I may still have my Christmas tree up. Oh, so embarrassing. I did get COVID, and I'm so delayed. I'm gonna put it away this weekend, and I'm just blaming everything on COVID at this point. So right now it is 5:20, so I've had it on for about 7 hours now. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the concealer. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I'm freezing. Look at my cute dog right there. He's like, why can't I come out, Mom? That's not nice. Okay, let's zoom in real close. So you can see the concealer, I think, still looks so good. So good. I mean, so good. I don't want to give my full thoughts away. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. I don't want to give my full thoughts away, but I really like this concealer for many, many reasons, which I will definitely share with you guys in my final thoughts. But as you can see, it looks so natural on my under eyes. It doesn't look drying. It looks really, really good. And I'm so, so impressed with the way that this wears. So good. Okay, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I'm gonna go back in the house. So the next time you guys will see me will be my 12-hour check-in, and I will zoom in real close, let you guys see how it's looking, and then I will share all my thoughts on this new concealer. So I will see you guys then. Okay, everyone, I am back to give my final thoughts on this new concealer. It is currently 11:34 at night. So I've had this concealer on for just over 12 hours. Before I jump into my final thoughts, I wanted to take the camera off of the standing tripod and bring it close and zoom you guys in really, really close. I did that on a previous video and I felt like the footage was so helpful. So let's go ahead and jump into that and then I will get into my final thoughts. So I have taken the camera off of the tripod. Let's go ahead and zoom in on these under eyes so you guys can see how the concealer is holding up. I mean, actually, I think the concealer is holding up quite well for being on for 12 hours. I mean, it's starting to get, I've got some little bit of creasing going on. It's starting to get a little patchy around here. Obviously, my mascara is kind of starting to flake by this time. It has been 12 hours. I mean, it's gotten a little crusty around here, but it has worn so beautifully all day long. It is 12 hours, and I feel like, from afar, like from this far away, I feel like this concealer looks pretty good for being on for 12 hours. I don't know if anybody's really going to get up this close, but I think this concealer does look really good for being on for 12 hours. So that's it for the up close and personal shot of these under eyes. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on the tripod and I will jump into my final thoughts. Okay, so I do hope that that footage was helpful. Let me get into my final thoughts. I don't think it's going to be a secret. I love this concealer. I love it. I think it is such a great concealer. And like I mentioned in the application, I did wear it at a funeral. So my grandfather's brother-in-law passed away and I attended his funeral on Monday, President's Day. And of course I cried, right? That's just what happens. And I felt like this concealer was so forgiving for crying. I was able to kind of dab it like this and kind of dab it out. And I felt like I was still maintaining some coverage. I lost the full coverage, but I almost got the medium coverage. This is a nice concealer. This is going to be a part of my regular rotation. I am loving this concealer. I love the doe foot. I love the shade. I love the way it makes my under eyes feel. I feel like it's very hydrating on the under eye. And I also love the coverage. I will say, when I had COVID, I had more darker circles than I was used to. Like, you know how it is when you get sick? I don't know. My under eyes were just much darker. They're starting to go back to normal. And I noticed that as I got back into makeup, when I was, getting better, I don't have to reach for a color corrector using this concealer. With my other concealers, I was using a color corrector to kind of correct before going in with the concealer. But because this one has such great coverage, I don't feel the need to do that. It's a great concealer. I love it. On a scale from 1 to 5, I'm personally giving it a 5 because I like that it's hydrating. I like that it's long wearing. I like that it doesn't crease. Now, yes, 12 hours later, my under eyes are creasing, but it's 12 hours. I can give it that. As long as it's lasting 6 to 8 hours without creasing, I'm totally fine with that. And you guys saw in the midday check-in, it wasn't creasing. It looked great. So I am very, very satisfied with this concealer, and every single time I've worn it, I've loved it. And the other day I was filming my Get Ready With Me, and I actually wanted to use this concealer, and I thought, no, I'm gonna save that for a separate video, but I was kind of bummed I couldn't use it. It's one of those concealers that I was excited to use because I really do like it. I love it. So hats off to KVD for creating a fantastic full coverage, lightweight. That's the key here. It's full coverage, but it's a lightweight, natural feeling concealer with some hydration, but it's not too much hydration to the point where it emphasizes every wrinkle. That was my biggest complaint with the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate concealer, which I used the 2 shades that I have from that as the shade comparison. That was my biggest complaint with that concealer, is it was too hydrating. And because of that much hydration, it was emphasizing every wrinkle I had. It was almost like putting highlighter on there. It just highlights. Too much hydration can highlight. This is the right amount of hydration where it gives the under eye a little teeny bit of a glow, but it's not too much of a hydration where it's emphasizing every wrinkle. but it's also a very natural finish, and it kind of melts into the under eye. It doesn't set on top of the skin. And with a concealer, that's very important because our under eye area is such a thin skin, right? And you do not want a concealer setting on top of it. You want it to kind of melt into the skin. And for me, this one does a great job. It just melts into the skin, looks very natural, wears very natural throughout the day, and I personally love it. So if you guys have been in the market for a full coverage concealer, I suggest trying this one because I personally love it. So that's it for the review. Sound up down below in the comment section. Let us know, have any of you guys picked up this concealer? What are your thoughts on it? I'm so curious. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.